The Fantasy Football Heroes and Villains podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. Shady Rays is having their best deal of the year. Go to shadyrays.com and use promo code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. D-Gens assemble. Welcome to Fantasy Football Heroes and Villains. I am your host, Justin Bruni. Joining me tonight and filling in is Mr. John Talk to Me Goose Gander. How are we doing, sir?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Can't complain. We got the NFL draft in the books, and the player market is alive and well and shifting. Here to do some best ball drafting. Very excited.
Yeah, I did one yesterday just to, for the excitement, but can never do too many, and I'm so ready for Best Ball Mania.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready to get back to the single quarterback format. Superflex was fun, but a little bit more difficult to navigate, constantly having to take, at least a couple of quarterbacks in the first 4 or 5 picks here. I'm going to start to peek my head into the draft and see if we can get going, because we may have a little bit of a longer wait. And then I'm going to, kind of get into some recap here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and enter. I think I accidentally just entered one, and I've already lost $25, Gindy.
So good
start. Start. That's great. First one's going to be on auto draft. That's great. It starts in 52 seconds, so that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my head into another one here. That really sucks when you press the button and then it just says, hey, the draft is about to start. But when you're, in the fantasy streets, this is bound to happen. I'm in one, and there's 9 more to start. Are you in?
I'm entering now.
There you go. We're good.
Good to go. Hey, I always like to mark my auto draft teams just to see at the end of the year. I'll put the title as like auto draft 1 or 2 just to see how they did versus my actual brain.
Maybe I can make a few of the first picks. We'll see, but I doubt it. I don't want to get too distracted here because, again, we're here to give the folks some good advice on, fantasy best ball on Underdog. Want to have our full attention on this draft here. Let me go ahead and get this one pulled up. I think we're still at 7 more to start, but I do want to get it on the screen. John, you're an Eagles fan. What was your big reaction to getting Jalen Carter? It felt like a pretty nice move there. Only had to move up 1 spot with my Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I am excited. I am also erring on the side of caution because of the character questions. I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm hoping
Right.
It's a one and done thing. He finds himself in a good scenario. I think that's how it's going to be. I'm actually more excited about Nolan Smith. I saw something today that compared him to Reddick, and I was just
okay.
like what he's able to do on the Eagles. If we have 2 of them, then the measurabilities, they were pointing out the speed, like that's a dangerous duo if they can be on the field at the same time. Now, we got a little bit of a log jam, so will they be on the field at the same time? Not quite sure, but excited nonetheless.
Looks like you got the second pick here. We are all filled up. I am at pick 5. Do we see any friendly names in the draft here? I don't see too many familiar ones.
Besides Frank Gore, that's actually Frank Gore. That's the only.
That would be dope. That would be dope. Frank Gore does have a badge. For all we know, maybe he's playing the market post career here. I'm trying to get the board pulled up on our screen so that we can share with our
we got to get
watchers.
You the badge. That's what we need to work on.
I've been working on it, brother. Believe me, I'm spending. I'm spending. And during last season, during the weekly drafts, I had a constant profit. I mean, nothing was crazy. There was one week I won a couple of hundred. I was sitting in first place for probably, I don't know, a couple of hours or something like that. That was the week Josh Allen fumbled on the 1 yard line against Minnesota and allowed overtime. And that overtime just completely buried me. I probably would have won a couple of thousand, but had he not fumbled, I could have actually had some type of outside shot to win it all.
Yeah, I remember I made it to the finals, I think, of rookie sophomore or a sophomore, juniors. I can't remember which one it was. And at one point,
Nice.
I was winning the whole thing, and I was like, "There's."
Oh.
I ended up finishing like 9th, and I was
Brutal sweat out. Brutal sweat out.
Yeah.
We're getting the picks going here. We got Christian McCaffrey off the board first. Hero or villain at that ADP? What do you think?
Oh, he's a rough one because of the uncertainty with the 49ers. If they don't have a quarterback, then everybody's going to kind of key in on him, and then it makes me wonder, does he fall down a little bit in his production? I'm always so scared to take him ever. I don't care if it was in the 7th round. I'm scared if he's going to be hurt, but I mean, they're going to be good. I hate to say it, but just because of how they've been acting after the whole Eagles thing, they should have. But they're going to be good. You can't deny it.
No, they're going to be a good offense, but I just don't like going CMC 1 overall here. I mean, obviously, you're going to have to differentiate, if you're constantly getting 101 to 103, but I definitely prefer the receivers here still. And, if you've been watching the show, you know that we're spending early ADP on receivers.
Yeah, absolutely.
We go Kelsey. Maybe I can get the Mahomes build. We'll see.
Yeah, the one I did last night, I think I got Kelsey between Kelsey and Chase, I think at 3 or 4. And I went with Kelsey, and then on the swing back, Burrow and Higgins were both sitting there. And I was just like, whoa. So
appreciate you, Randall. I see you in the chat. Don't worry, buddy. You're just making these picks, brother. Just got to be looking at this board, all right? Cooper Kupp, I don't hate that. That's what I was kind of going back and forth with there. I think Cooper Kupp could actually still have a pretty strong season. Matthew Stafford, banged up. But when has Matthew Stafford not been banged up in his career? He's an absolute Iron Man. Just going to be coming back from injury. I feel like people are definitely discounting that duo.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And it's not like there's anybody there to really challenge Cooper Kupp for targets. So
they even traded Allen Robinson.
Yeah, that's quite the log jam for I've been building some Pittsburgh stacks early. It's a stack I like. I think it's a stack that could be really good. And now you add Allen Robinson, and I'm like, oh my God.
I think he's more of a professor at the wide receiver university as much as a student or a player, Yeah. I just don't see him taking meaningful snaps away from Pickens or Deontay Johnson. So, I mean, if you had a prayer on Calvin Austin, that's probably set sail. But, I still think it's a pretty good situation for both of those receivers. I love them a ton.
Yeah, I wish Allen Robinson was still able to produce just as a Penn State grad. I mean, he's I was at the game when he did the catch, and I just wanted so much more for him because he was just such a good Penn Stater.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a Bears fan. Someone took Patrick Mahomes. Man, this isn't the super flex, bruh. Pick 13. Damn, JP. 1989. Good year, but damn, JP. Damn. That's too early.
This is what I was talking with you a little bit before too. It's just a lot of stuff not making sense. People not correlating stacks, and I think people are getting smarter too. Than it's going to be harder this year than it was last year to put those stacks together because that's what that's the tried and true. So.
You mentioned before we got on the air here that Bijan went pretty early in your draft last night. He went earlier tonight. He went at pick 7, second running back overall. What are your thoughts on that? I can't agree.
I can't. It's amazing. I could be wrong, right? But it's just amazing he's going that early. Plus, he is probably this generational talent. But will that translate into fantasy football, or is it just more he's this generational talent as a running back in a real football game? Because, like we were talking about before, that's two completely different things is real football versus fantasy football, and Kirk Cousins was your example. So
I'm gonna take Saquon Barkley here. Gonna probably go some hero RB. I just like him a lot more than some of these receivers here.
Didn't you say to start this off you were high on wide receivers early?
Completely off of this strategy. We're off the boat already. But you gotta play the game. You gotta play the game.
Yeah,
because I may very well take 5 or 6 receivers straight here. I really wanted Mahomes. I mean, I guess I was just kind of underestimating that pick 13 through 18 window of that guy took Garrett Wilson and Patrick Mahomes, and then you saw the appropriate stacks from these guys who drafted AJ Brown, followed up with Jalen Hurts, drafted Stephon Diggs, followed up with Josh Allen. That's correct, but man, I still would have thought at pick 20 one of those guys would have fallen to me.
Yeah, and obviously we should probably address, why Andrew's not here too. And I was just laughing at myself about Chris Olave. I think that's the first time I might have ever been able to draft him. every time when me and Andrew are doing drafts or we're talking
Mhm.
about it, I cannot get Chris Olave. I have him
Well,
queued up. He just escapes me. People, and I'm so excited to finally get my share of him.
I'm a little bit less high on him as of all of the moves that they've made, but I still think that he's going to shine the brightest out of the group. But man, like they have so many layers to that offense now.
You're not a Derek Carr believer or what?
No, I don't hate Derek Carr. It's just that he's not a guy that you're going to have throw the ball a ton. I still think that they're going to run the ball a lot. Oh my gosh, that guy went 3 running backs.
And we're talking Gibbs. Like, this is what I'm saying. This rookie focus, recency bias it's crazy to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll certainly have the rookie RB at pick 25 than a pick 7. I think there's something there, but I don't think it's great when you're backing it up with the first 2 picks that were running backs.
But I don't know, maybe I'm a more old school thinker, but in what world is Gibbs better than taking Derrick Henry? Like, I just, if you were targeting running back,
yeah.
I mean,
for best ball, yeah. I mean, who's going to have 2,000 all-purpose yards this season? It's Derrick Henry.
Like, I think Gibbs is going to be good. I thought that was a great pick by the Lions, but it's just, I just can't get, Bijan going before, let's see, Jonathan Taylor, Bijan going before Austin Eckler, Barkley, and now you have Derrick Henry going after Gibbs. That's why I said, like, I feel like these early drafts, we can really get some good value maybe here because people are placing
absolutely
value in the wrong place just because they just got done watching the draft.
I love it. Eat it up. All right, we're going to hit a quick word from the sponsors. We're going to be right back after this. Our friends over at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and so much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair you've ever worn. Durable frames and are extremely clear with optics and outdoor adventures. With Shady Rays, you can look good and feel good. To date, they have donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger with Feeding America. Go to shadyrays.com and use promo code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. All right, catching up here. We had a nice little running back run. TJ Hawkinson just came off the board at pick 34. Pick 30 to 33, we had Breece Hall, Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, Ramondre Stevenson. And this was, kicked off with Jahmyr Gibbs and Derrick Henry going at 25 and 27 this round.
Yeah, definitely the run on running back. And this is sometimes where I struggle is, going wide receiver early and then trying to play catch up. And sometimes I can't quite get the formula, and I'm really grasping at some straws to get a good running back core.
I mean, I know that I like all the dirtbag running backs at the back end of the draft. Like, give them all to me. Like, I'll take every bit of Leonard Fournette unsigned. Like, he's all mine.
I'm going to get a lot of heat for saying this one as an Eagles fan, but that's kind of how I feel about Zeke. Like, I still think Zeke's going to go somewhere and be a good value where he's going.
At least in the draft, yeah. I mean, and no one is going to be like, oh, yeah, good point. Zeke Elliott for sure, man. Like, no one's going to try to read the tea leaves now with him unsigned. People will change their minds, like you said, like once he gets on a team for sure.
If he ever gets on a team at this rate.
He will. If at the end of the day, I firmly believe that Patrick Mahomes will pick up the phone and get him on the roster.
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
They have like a legit like friend relationship type thing.
Oh, I was really hoping for you there to get. I was hoping Fields got back to you, but as a Chicago guy, but it didn't happen.
They're not gonna let me have any fun. It's okay. These guys are smart. They're figuring it out. But there's still a lot of really good quarterbacks left, so I'm not really gonna sweat it.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's in here that's gonna snipe my pick from me, but I was really hoping to get Hawkinson and try to put together the Jefferson, Hawkinson, Kirk Cousins, Addison, but that kind of went to the wayside.
I've done that probably one too many times already. If I run it back again, I definitely got to try to get some Addison in there for sure. But I've hooked up Cousins and Hawkinson quite a bit, and then obviously when you get that early pick, you're throwing Jefferson in there. So,
oh boy, what do I want to do here? Let's see. I'm not too big on any of these wide receivers. I see one that stands out to me.
I like Christian Kirk a lot.
Yeah.
That's left. I mean, I like him a ton. Just
Yeah,
love that
actually.
offense. They're going to be a lot more vertical, and I have DK, so I'm definitely trying to do as much of a Seattle build as I can. I love, honestly, the Jackson Smith pick. I think it's great for Geno Smith in the offense. I just don't love it backed up with the Zach Charbonnet pick, which I think is pretty consistent with the public. Obviously, nobody liked that for fantasy football. I think Seattle fans should be like pretty happy. You're just adding a ton of depth.
No, so
a great young core.
I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want to ruin it, but I thought that's what once you took DK, I was like, I think he's going to try to
It's
put
an affordable build
back together.
Yeah, it's an affordable build, and even if I miss out on it, if someone's in here and they're going to snipe me, whatever, I'm really not that upset because I've done it already, like a fair amount. I really don't mind keep buying more Geno Smith's shares.
Yeah, that's somebody I think I'm still pretty big on. I think he's going to have another good year. I don't think it was a one-off year, especially with the addition.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I am going to take Jackson Smith here for the ADP. So yeah, we're going to double down on that, and if someone wants to snipe me on Geno, by all means, but you're not going to have exposure. Sorry, that's for me. That's mine.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I could rewind a little bit here. I might have did my last pick maybe even a little different. I was thinking Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and then that guy took Kyle Pitts, and then when you said being high on Kirk, I was like, oh man, Lawrence was sitting there. I could have tried to do that, but it looks like that guy would have ruined it either way. So
that's true.
Or I should say guy or gal.
What we got here?
Why we got a little bit of a break here? You want to talk about Andrew? Why I'm filling in, maybe just to bring.
Oh yeah, well the TD King dynasty is alive and well. The next line in the lineage of Rob is here. Tristan Jameson was born yesterday. Andrew's second born son now. So yeah, just filling in while Dad's away taking care of mom and the young lad.
Yeah, and Andrew's close friend. I feel like if I didn't actually say it's Triton, he would probably
Triton.
Triton. So I think you said Tristan, but I don't want him to be calling me being like, oh, you got my son's name wrong on that.
Well, I should have said it right, because when he told me the name, I was like, dude, if I had named my kid Triton, like my dad would have cried, because they're big fishermen in my family. So like big green Triton was in my garage every day for my whole life.
I've pushed for him to name both of them John and have been unsuccessful both times. So
hoping for number 3.
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to put it out there. I am really happy for him. I can't believe I'm going to say a nice thing here about him, but like, there's nothing that guy looks forward to besides best ball and being a dad. Like he is a good dad, and he is an active dad, and he's coaching his son's baseball team, and it's just crazy knowing him. We used to work together to now seeing him and dad. He's like a completely different person.
No, he's not a wild man anymore.
Yeah, he's well, he's still, I would say, still a wild man, but
still a wild man.
Keeps it reined in.
Attaboy, Andrew. We're proud of you, brother. Looking forward to having you back soon. All right. Caught up here into round 6. Starting to heat up with these receivers. After I took Jackson Smith and Jigba, people started to figure it out. Chris Godwin, Christian Watson, Mike Williams, Jerry Jeudy, Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk, he fell a little bit. I was considering him there after Keenan Allen, but I wanted to throttle this Seattle build if I can. After Kirk, you had Michael Pittman go, pick 62, Mike Evans at 64. That feels a little early for Mike Evans, no?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to finish. I was just sitting here thinking, I don't know what to make of what's going to happen of Godwin and Evans. Do they stay? Do they go? What does it look like if they stay or go? It's that's something I'm staying away from. I'm sure Mike Evans will then turn around and have his best touchdown years ever and burn both of us. But
the only reason I would say that's a possibility. What just happened? Oh, thank goodness I got Tyler Lockett. I thought I accidentally picked somebody else. I was going to be so angry. I was like, no, not another mistake. Not again. Damn it. No, I feel like they still could have some exposure to Carson Wentz and his market. I mean, I just don't believe Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask are the answer. Unless they're trying to tank. They didn't move Mike Evans at the draft. You know what I mean? Like those two guys, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, should not be sitting around waiting for Caleb Williams to be drafted to that team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually thought that was where Levis was going to end up.
Especially at one point, that was like the only place he could go. It felt like that was at pick 19, right?
Yeah, and then I thought when we looked at it after the end of round 1 on the live draft that night, the live show, I was thinking, okay, 50, I thought was looking reasonable for him, but then they ended up taking him. I don't even remember where he went, but just
he went to the Titans, pick 2 of second round.
There's somebody I am not high on. He won't touch my team, any of my teams. He won't be on them.
The young man was very excited to get drafted. He actually had a nice little reaction when it all went down.
Oh.
Move down the board here. Hopefully people can see a little bit more. Maybe if I zoom in. No, wrong screen, Jetton.
Just I'm sure you know, but last night I was drafting this, and I was like, all right, I was planning for 20 rounds, and then I got to like the 17th round, and I'm like, oh, wait, I don't have 3 more rounds.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Trim the fat, baby. Trim the fat. So I have all of the Seattle receivers. No big deal.
Yeah.
They said it couldn't be done. I'm here. I'm doing it.
I like it.
Oh, no.
So obviously you're going to go after Geno, but do you plan on correlating tight ends too to your stack?
I don't know about that. They're not very good.
I think Noah Fant. I know Andrew's very
not great.
He's kind of convinced me that Noah Fant could still have like this resurgence. So
if he's available at pick 17, I think that's totally adequate with my build. But I don't know if he has any demand ahead of that.
Okay. Let's see. There's somebody that just went. I'm super high on to have a good year.
Jan?
Yeah, I think he's going to have a good second.
I was considering him there. I went back to the RB just because I did really stack up there. But I don't know. There was some good stuff about Joe Mixon today. Probably coach talk, but they were saying some good stuff about him. I like the Chase Brown pick quite a bit. If Mixon were to go, that would be a good situation for him.
Yeah, there's a lot of running backs that I think in this draft that maybe people didn't talk about enough, or some solid picks. Some of those later picks, Charbonnet.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy that went to the Rams?
To the Rams was Zach Evans.
Yeah, I think, did Charbonnet go to the Rams too?
No, Charbonnet went to Seattle.
Okay, I should.
Yeah, he's backing up Ken Walker. That was like everyone was lost their minds.
The Rams took a second rookie running back. It surprised me, and I was like, wow, one of these guys could break out and be the starter.
Right. Keandre Miller to New Orleans is pretty interesting to me.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get a lot of run there.
Yeah, for me, just as like a football fan, this draft was probably the one I was most excited for ever in my life.
It was a good draft, I thought. I felt like the product overall was pretty solid.
Yeah, and I made the statement to a buddy over the weekend that like they were showing Goodell out and about, and he was talking to the crowd, and for like the first time ever, I was like, all right, maybe that guy's not as bad as I thought he was my entire life.
No, he's awful.
Yeah, see that too. Hey, I don't know, he's growing on me a little bit. Hey, we got a good product, right? And whether he's responsible for it or not, he's the head of it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he just kind of keeps rehiring himself, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know how all that works.
It'd be interesting once he decides it's what direction the NFL goes in.
Right.
I think it's going to be Peyton Manning, but
ooh, could you imagine?
I think I would be shocked at this rate if it's not Peyton Manning.
That would be amazing. Sorry, I'm just getting look at the board here. What do we want to do?
Ooh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with some more receiver action. Give me some Brandon Cooks. Are you feeling the pressure here, or are you starting to feel the quarterback cooker?
Yeah, I am. I got my, knock on wood, I got one. I see it, and I might have missed it if I kept talking to you, so I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to do, to draft and talk. I give you guys credit. It's the first time I've ever had to do it.
Yeah, got to always be keeping the temperature of the board up to date with the crowd here. Speaking of which, Dak Prescott just finally went. I was wondering when he was going to fall off the board. Tua Tagovailoa came off the board before him.
Oh,
Now Daniel Jones. I'm feeling like you and I got to pull the trigger here. Maybe not you in this one, but you have 2 picks. So.
Oh no, I got so nervous when I saw purple because I thought it was who I would have been so mad if I missed it.
That's funny. My other one on auto build, by the way, was Josh Allen, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook, David Montgomery, Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, and D Hop. Not bad.
Okay,
Not bad for an auto draft. Pretty happy with it. Thanks, underdog. Appreciate you. I need to make sure I'm up in the right draft, though. I'm 4 picks away in both. That's not ideal. All right, I got the right one up. That's better. And we're actually moving along faster than the other one, too. Interesting.
See, this is a little bit what I was talking to you about. I kind of get lost in the sauce. Like, okay, man, I got to really target a running back here. But I see something else that I want to do. So I'm not going to take a running back yet.
Screw him.
And then, and this is where a little bit more.
I like it. I like the Pat Freiermuth pick. Good exposure to touchdowns, hopefully, this year.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you're the one forever ago that sold me on Deontay Johnson. Listening to you and Andrew, I was like, man, this guy's due.
It's
so now I'm working on building some with him.
Absolutely, man. I mean, they just feed him the ball, and he doesn't get worse. It's just that the situation was obviously worse. I mean, you go from a quarterback that's been there for years on years. Uh-oh. Are we glitching the Matrix?
You're up. Oh,
no, we got it. Okay. No, I was just making sure because it was glitching on my computer. Like it was saying the pick was in on my computer, but not on my phone. Don't do that, underdog. Be better. Sorry, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the Deontay Johnson. No, I mean, he's in a great situation as long as Kenny Pickett just gets better. Like that's all that you have to be worried about is if he's somehow not the guy that they say he is and he's not good, then Deontay could have a, less than stellar season, but less than stellar still equates or isn't so bad, I should say, with 140 plus targets, which he's bound to get no matter what. Devin A. Chain that high feels a little rich. I like the idea, but it's such a crowded backfield.
That's what I was going to. Speaking about crowding backfields, what do you think about the Philly backfield?
Very, very middled. I don't want to overcommit to anybody, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm playing the ADP game there. Probably not first to market. I probably won't be running to get DeAndre Swift because, any one of those guys could be a PPR option. Any one of those guys could be used in the red zone. They use some uncanny amount of opportunities to give Kenny Gainwell red zone touches. So, I mean, it literally applies to everybody. Everybody's going to touch that ball. Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott, Rashad Penny, DeAndre Swift now, and the best running back of them all, Jalen Hurts. I mean, you're not going to have any rhyme or reason. It's going to be boom or bust for everybody, in my opinion. Yeah. So, I mean, play the game.
The fan in me was obviously excited about Swift, right? It's a good value if it doesn't pan out.
You should be.
The underdog fan in me was furious, not only at the Swift, but the Penny, because I was loading up on Kenny Gainwell when we were doing the other ones. I thought, okay, people, this is going to be the starter. They're not going to do anything. Philly doesn't really like to spend on running backs. I was like, I'm going to get Gainwell, and now that is completely out the waste. Kenny Gainwell might be the third running back come week 1.
I wasn't overly excited, but in Dynasty, I was able to pick up for free Boston Scott and Rashad Penny to add to my one share of Kenny Gainwell. So I was like, all right, hey, that's pretty sly move. That's not too bad. I got the whole backfield in an offseason for nothing. Like that's great. And just poo-poo on my parade. Like, come on.
Yeah, hey, Boston Scott could even. I mean, I hope they keep him. I like Boston Scott, but I mean,
I don't see a reason why they wouldn't, unless just he's a cut candidate. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't figure out. When I can't figure something out, I stay away from him. An underdog.
Yeah, and then we figure it out, and then we were like, all right, fuck, now we got to do a draft.
Yep.
Damn it, just so I can get this guy that I haven't been able to draft at all.
I'm curious, where's the guy that took – can you scroll up for a second on the draft board? Where is the guy that took Bijan?
Oh, he's pick 7.
Yeah, I want to
JJ Journey.
I'm curious on the swing back here if he takes I want to see if he takes Algier and pairs them. Probably I'm trying to figure out these Bijan fan school of thought.
I really like this running back coming up. I'm going to go with it. Let's ride. See what happens here. Ooh, Aaron Rodgers, Anthony Richardson, Jared Goff. Nice little run of quarterbacks there.
Yeah, so he didn't do it.
What do you think about taking Anthony Richardson in best ball? I mean, do you think he's going to start week 1?
I don't. I think there's still a little bit maybe they have to work through. I think Stroud and Bryce Young's game will translate immediately versus maybe Richardson might have to, just get used to the speed of an NFL game.
Mm-hmm.
I could be completely wrong. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to turn into quite the dual threat for the Colts when it's his time. But I think I liked Gardner when he was on the Eagles. So, he could have a. I was so upset when he got rid of it. I just liked his hair alone. But
wow, he's definitely a great personality. But
so
as far as like a backup quarterback goes, like top of the market for sure.
I think they might give him his shot though.
That's what I was saying. I guess Jim Irsay came out like, I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday, and said that he was drafted to start week 1. But I just think he's incredibly raw, and I feel like it doesn't really hurt to have just Gardner Minshew on the shortest of leashes. Like I just don't think that hurts anybody. And that's also keeping in mind that they still probably put him on the field. Like he may not be the starter, but they create packages and plays for him to go out there and do.
And that's kind of what I was gonna. Man, I do not. This is what I'm talking about. Hold on, I'll finish my school of thought. But he's right.
Oh, you're good.
This is where I get into the. I'm trying to play recovery now. Man,
don't take Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it to you already. I try to play nice. You beat me to it. That was who I was taking.
B-Rob.
Yeah, I like him and Gibson. I think they can.
I'm a big Gibson stan and truther, specifically for a turnaround this year. I was banging his drum when he was drafted, giving out like Matt Forte comps, the dual versatility type stuff. And he brought it home. He double-digit touchdowns his first 2 seasons. Before they drafted Brian Robinson, he had 1,300 yards all-purpose, and again, double-digit touchdowns. So to me, like, I just feel like Eric Bieniemy is going to turn him up, and I still want to get the touchdown exposure, obviously, with Robinson. So we'll see what happens there.
And that's the kind of like when I'm talking to you about with Bijan Robinson and Algier, that's the same thing I see there. It's kind of like these two backfields that everybody thinks Brian Robinson, but like Antonio Gibson is still really, really good, and you can't not give them his shares. So
right. Well, I think that the market is still pretty like unsettled with them based on their ADP. I just took Brian Robinson at pick like 116, and then obviously the very next round Gibson. So I don't feel like the market's settled. I feel like they both feel like there's kind of a chance to go either way because of the coordinator scenario. But anyone that's like overtly like, oh, it's a one-man show, it's definitely not going to be the case in DC.
And to go back to Richardson, the school of thought with that is, hey, the Colts don't have a lot to look forward to. I think still, I think they're still not going to be that great. So why not just throw him out there? And that's the only way you get experience, right? Is by doing it. Sometimes that's how people learn the best, is just jumping in head first. So he could be a starter, week 1. Again, I don't know if you've heard my hot take on the live draft show about Hendon Hooker, but that's my pick as the best quarterback that's going to end up coming out of this this draft class. So right. I'm trying to get as much Hendon Hooker as I can.
I don't hate it for Dynasty. I mean, Jared Goff doesn't necessarily mold the portrait of consistency, right? I mean, I think we need to see another year of him in that offense. But I'll tell you what, if this year looks anything like last year, Hooker's going to be waiting a minute or two to get in the game. I mean, Goff is coming off his best season efficiency-wise, since his 50 touchdown plus season with the Rams. So, I mean, he didn't throw over 30 touchdowns this past year, but he only threw, I think, 7 or 6 interceptions. His best total yet. So I think they found something there with him. But long term, I think that could be a situation that plays out well for the Lions.
I'll never understand the Jared Goff hate. Like, he's not a stud, but he's not.
People call him a bus driver. He just, point and throw, just no different than, an SEC quarterback that's not going to go anywhere in the NFL,
Yeah, well, guess what? Bus drivers deliver kids to school every day. Like that's an essential,
And they get paid and they have a job. Exactly. Like it's a career. It's not that
I'd
big a
rather
deal.
have that than somebody throw, or they're going to throw a wild pick or throw it out of bounds because they got scared or, footsteps Falco. I was trying to figure out how I could get the replacements in here for one reference. So I'm so glad that I just got footsteps Falco in here.
Love it. Adam Thielen, Jalen Hyatt, Zay Jones. Jalen Hyatt, man, is he the first Giants receiver that's gone off the board?
I know Waller went like 50 something.
Okay.
But other than that, and this is something, me and Andrew have been talking about. I said to him, I can't believe how low some of these receivers for the Giants are going. Like, I know some people don't like Hodgins, but I thought we saw enough out of him last year that he's pretty decent. Like, and Wandale Robinson, like at one point, one of them is going to be a wide receiver number 1 on a team that is improving. So I thought Hyatt was a great pick. I was just watching some stuff on him before we got on. I saw him and Daniel Jones have already met. I just think there's something there. I think Dable knows what he's doing.
I hope so. That dude's small. I'm interested to see how he's going to fit in because he's fast. He can be a deep field threat, but they have a bunch of deep field threats. Like, I mean, Isaiah Hodgins, he was a nice story. Definitely what I would perceive as more of like a possession type of guy. But, Darius Slayton's going to try to break it open. Obviously, Hyatt. They've added Jamison Crowder, Darren Waller, somebody else I thought that they added too. Oh, Paris Campbell. Another deep threat. Like, that's a deep group.
The comparison I saw was Sean Jackson for Hyatt.
Okay.
So
that's respectable.
Yeah, so you know what you're getting. Sean Jackson, when he was good, was good.
Oh no.
This is some stuff. This Michael Mayer, I don't know. I don't know what to make of him. He went from being this highly sought after tight end to not even going in the first round. And so I'm trying to figure out with him. Oh, shoot, I'm up.
There it is. 5, 4. Hey, stacks on stacks on stacks. Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson stack. I love it. No, Michael Mayer's going to be sure-handed, man. Like, I would not be worried about him at all. If anything, he is in a much better situation than Dalton Kincaid, who is going to be in a flooded offense with a bevy of different targets. Like, the ball can be going anywhere. Michael Mayer could just be a check down Charlie for Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, he could just get a ton of work because he's going to be on the field a ton. Foster Moreau's out for medical. Darren Waller's out the door. Who else is going to be the guy? I mean, and he's just such a good blocker that he's going to keep himself on the field. And his ADOT's going to be 4 yards less. Like, I mean, he's not going to be a deep ball receiver, like a hitting the seam tight end, I should say. Excuse me. But
I was going to say you're up, by the way.
See, now we're both getting caught up in here. I'll go Donta Foreman. Do it for the brand. Love me some Donta. Boo the guy that took Roshan like 2 rounds earlier. Boo that man, because I wanted him later on. But Michael Mayer. No, dude, like I said, sure-handed, ton of blocking, gonna play a ton of snaps.
I for sure thought he was going to the Cowboys. I'm still
maybe the Jason Witten comps just were too close to home. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think that the Cowboys took Mozzie Smith because they thought that's what the Eagles were going to do. I really that has been the talk for weeks, that the Eagles were so big on Mozzie Smith, and then they took him, and I was like, you literally had the next Jason Witten staring you in the face, but you took the guy that you thought the Eagles was going to take.
I love the good draft humor. I'm gonna hit a quick word from the good old folks at Underdog here. We're brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Best Ball Mania 4 is here, and Underdog Fantasy is giving away $15 million in prizes. So start drafting your teams. Plus, there are plenty of ways to win playing the NBA, NHL, and MLB markets with their player prop parlays. Head over to UnderdogFantasy.com and use promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. All right, and we're back. We are in round 14 here. Tyler Higbee just went off the board. Getting into the weeds here. Why don't you run through your team really quick, and we'll talk about these last 3 picks, how we're going to attack them, or 4 picks, I should say.
Let me open it up on my phone. See
5 picks, 18 rounds, not 17.
Take a gander at it. We got Kirk Cousins at quarterback, Aaron Jones, Algier, Damian Harris, Mostert, Jeff Wilson, running back. And then we go Justin Jefferson, Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, Drake London, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, and Pat Freiermuth.
Love it, love it.
I'm very grateful to you because you just reminded me that quarterback and tight end still exist, so I need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I love some late round opportunity stacks. I saw that you had taken Pat Freiermuth, so maybe it's time to target Kenny Pickett. Wouldn't hate that. My team as is right now, I did not take my own advice whatsoever. I have plenty of running backs, and I might even take one more, I think. I have Geno Smith, Saquon Barkley, Joe Mixon, Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, Donta Foreman, followed up with DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Cooks, and DJ Chark.
Yeah, I love.
And then Travis Kelce. Probably should mention my first pick.
I love that Seattle stack. I think that's going to be great. You're going to get good points every week out of one of those receivers. If not,
somebody's got to score.
Yeah, and they're a high-scoring offense. So.
Oh yeah, and those guys specifically, like Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, you know what they just love to do? They'd love not to just score 1, but 2 touchdowns. They're big multi-touchdown guys. I'm going out on a limb with this one. I'm going out on a limb. We're going to shore up that Cincinnati backfield. Right. If Mixon stays around, then I've got him and his handcuff and Chase Brown. I feel pretty good about that, seeing Zeke Elliott going with the very next pick. So I'm pretty happy about that. I felt like I was reaching a little bit, but I've gotten enough Chubba Hubbard. I've gotten enough Cordell Patterson, so I feel like it's time to start grabbing some more of these rookies here.
What do you look to build here? And what do you aim for? Do you go 2 quarterback? Do you go in 3?
I'm going to go 2 in single quarterback. I'm just going to go 2. And that's just, look at the board right now. There's no reason to go 3. Trey Lance is still available. We're in round 14. He was a darling in the big board and little board. Everyone was all over him. They were gaga over him.
I think I'm going to play it safe. I was going to wait till it got back to me, but I don't want this guy in the middle to take my Kenny Pickett. There's nobody there that really stands out to me versus somebody else. So
I think in this format, you're good to take a quarterback in round 17. You hit on that guy. That guy could be Desmond Ridder. It could be Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill could go in round 17, just be the starter every week.
Yeah, no, I think I think the Pickett, I cannot believe he goes as late as he does. Just some of these stacks you're able to do with Wan'Dale Robinson. There's some good value for you to be able to chase after just straight dogs at the top and then kind of recover your stacks, midway, 3/4 of the way through.
I like a lot of these quarterbacks available, actually.
Here we go again. I'm up. Oh, boy, what am I going to do? You know what? Why not just double down? Why not?
Okay, get some Gainwell action.
Even though I said I was so worried about it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I am looking at receivers: Josh Palmer, Nico Collins, Michael Gallup, Josh Downs, Jonathan Mingo. I think I might take some Jonathan Mingo here. You got some pretty early draft stock, and I just don't feel like those guys are going to be overly committed to DJ Chark and Adam Thielen. And I already drafted DJ Chark, so I think it's going to be John Mingo here.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I do have a soft spot in my heart for Adam Thielen for some reason. Just always liked him, and yearly Andrew and I have a bet of where will Adam Thielen end up in the top 30 or not. I won last year, just saying he was 30 on the nose. So I'm always pulling for Thielen. So.
Oh man, I screwed up there. I should have did CJ Stroud and Xavier Hutchinson. That's what I should have did these last 2 picks. Damn.
Yeah, I was just looking at Stroud was there. I was like, that's with all this hype of these Bijans and everybody going early, and then to see the literal second quarterback off.
But Bryce went in round 13, so I guess it's not too far off. I think that in a sharper draft, they probably go closer together.
But look at Kyler's above Bryce. Kyler, we don't even know how much he's going to play. and that's things I think about. Like I would rather have.
I have no
certainty of
exposure to him. If he winds up being the MVP this year, I'm gonna cry.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
If Kyler Murray ends up being MVP, I'll never play underdog again. How's that? Like,
I wouldn't do that. You're limiting your potential exposure.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it is either, but you know what I mean? Like, I mean, in the NFL, man, anything can happen. It's wild. Murphy's Law.
Now I could see him being comeback player of the year.
I don't know about, I mean, next year, maybe.
Yeah, whatever year.
This year, he wouldn't, I don't think he'd qualify for this year. How much time did he miss last year?
I don't know, but he missed a decent amount of time, but it doesn't matter if he came back, I think, before. What did they say he's going to mix the first 6 weeks? They were thinking at one point if he came back.
Yeah, he can't win MVP at that point.
No, but he could win comeback player. That's about it. That's what Kyler's getting. I can't even believe we're having a conversation about Kyler Murray being MVP.
Got to drive the content, man. Got to drive it. It's like a slow bus sometimes.
Oh, jeez.
All right, C.J. Stroud, Matthew Stafford closing down round 15. This person at the turn here with Matthew Stafford is really taking their time. They're really thinking this out. CWP 53 going Trey McBride. All right.
He must have heard us talking about. He just heard us talking about Kyler Murray. That's why he took.
I guess so. Did
That's
you see the Luke Van Ness draft pick?
Well, yeah. I remember when they took him. What do you mean? Like,
did you see the coverage of it? The video of what happened, like when they picked him?
No. Oh boy, what did I miss?
It was hilarious. Earlier we were doing a mock draft, and I selected Luke Van Ness's dad because he's got that dog in him. Because he slapped his son's daughter's ass.
I did see that. Yes. Yeah.
And there was a kid that like jumped all over him. It was like toppling him.
Hey,
they had to like pull him off.
That's a high energy family, right? Like that could
what
be
is
good
going
signs.
on?
Hey, that could be good signs.
The sister is Cole Kmet's sister.
Okay.
Yeah, so that should be interesting. Twice a season.
That could be. I always think, I said this Joey Porter. I was so happy for Joey Porter to go to the Steelers, just so cool. It's not an awkward conversation too. So now his dad, like, he could really help him. He understands not only playing in the NFL, but the team that he played for. Right. So like, that family coming or having that relationship even with the tight end, kind of like with Cole Kmet there. That could be huge in the development and might stand out over somebody else.
On the clock. Gotta go. Thank you.
I like that.
Mix it up here. Chuba Hubbard would have been a very on-brand pick for me.
Yeah. I like that pick by you to be.
I love Hodgins. I've been banging the drum all off season. He was someone that, put me in, contention, making, money, championship, fantasy last year. Very soft place in my heart. Wish it was Richie James I could take with that level of conviction, but it's not, unfortunately, because Richie James did make me some money.
Yeah, I was gonna say Richie James too. Though is a guy that's kind of. If you got Mahomes, I'd be sneaking him on every team I could there. At the end, just in case. I mean, he goes 18th round or sometimes doesn't get drafted. Yeah. I mean, he could end up being a good second role to even
anybody
or even
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
he's on Kansas City, right?
Oh yeah. Kansas City. Yeah, Kansas City picked him up, but that's what I mean. Like anybody in that offense right now feels like they could be the next guy. It just feels like it's a complete open field. Whether it's Tony, Sky Moore, Richie James, people are starting to hype Justin Ross back up. They just drafted Rashee Rice. Everybody's starting to hype him up. So, I mean, it just seems like a wide open field behind Kelsey, who's going to be the next top guy. And honestly, it may very well just be Pacheco.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something. I think we're at that point of in these drafts, like, are we putting too much stock taking Jason Kelsey, Travis Kelsey? I took him third last night, and I was like, wow, I don't know how
high trust
I feel
player
about
though. High trust when the market is moving around like this, and you have those guys that you can firmly plant a flag on and not really lose any sleep. Like, I feel pretty good about it. I went quarterback and tight end pretty early, and now I'm going to close it down with tight end and quarterback. I feel pretty good about that.
Do you have anybody from Washington besides your running backs?
No, none of the receivers. Okay. I just took the running backs. If I get the running backs and Howell, then I still get a pretty good exposure to touchdowns overall.
I like Hal there, and I mean, something I do. I think I'd probably take Terry McLaurin on 80% of my teams every year in and year out. So that was
He's just got the super friendly ADP, and he is QB proof. It's just a fact. Like, throw anybody out there. Who was that guy that was like that fifth receiver for Denver one year during the COVID season? Throw him out there. Terry McLaurin will still probably get 100 receiving yards. Like, it's just absolutely insane what he can do with bad QBs.
So again, what do I got? One pick left. So oh man, you didn't get Michael Carter.
I did not, but I'm thinking I can get Noah Fan here. I think it's going to happen. We'll see. And he just goes off the board. He just goes off the board. I speak it into existence.
That makes me that makes me so bad because I was gonna take Noah Fan instead of Laporta, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna leave him there for you. And then what do you do but not take him?
Sorry, you took Sam Howell as my buddy.
Yeah,
my buddy Sam. I don't know what's going on here, but the board doesn't seem to be updating. My phone is updating.
No, I got what do we at? Gus, it's good now. I think. CWP just took Gus Edwards. So
I don't see Darius Slayton taken.
Oh no, yeah, it's like a.
Oh wait, that's because it's Yeah. There it is. There he is. No big deal. Got it. Up to date. Zoom out. No big deal. Spotify listeners are losing their minds. What are they talking about? Zoom out of what? I'm trying to zoom out of this lane.
What do you think? I guess you're going tight end with your last pick, but you didn't.
Yeah, I'm going tight end. I mean, Zach Ertz just does not feel that terrible with my last pick.
Yeah,
or even Jelani Woods.
I like Zach Ertz. I still think he's got a little bit left in the tank. Jelani Woods is a good one, but did they not take another tight end in the draft? Did they not take?
Oh, I don't know. That would be really sad if they did, though. Because they still have Mo Ali. They still got Mo Cox.
No, that's right. Darnell Washington went to Pitt.
Yeah. I definitely know Darnell Washington did not go there. And that would be a waste of a pick because, like, him and Jelani Woods, they look like long-lost brothers.
I mean, look at Pittsburgh. And they already had Pat Freiermuth, and they turned around and took
yeah, but I think that Freiermuth is like, yeah, he's still a bigger guy. I think Darnell Washington is like that good second tight end, like kind of like a Vance McDonald. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think he feels like kind of that like run blocking role, being able to kind of just be that extra tight end on the edge because they were talking about him making some type of transition offensive tackle because of his size. I am not in that department whatsoever. I don't believe that they should even come close to administering any type of strategy like that. But I do feel like he can kind of fit well in that system where we've seen them use that second tight end pretty well at times.
Is Vance McDonald, isn't that the one that backed up? Is that when he backed up Keith Miller?
Yeah, and then Miller got hurt, and then that was, remember when he buried Chris Conti? He like killed him on the open field with that stiff arm.
No, but I remember for some reason, wasn't it Hines Ward that killed somebody that one, or Hines Ward got killed?
Well, I mean, if we just want to go into players killing people, I mean, Ray Lewis is, king
no, not that killing. I meant on the field.
I was like, I don't know where we're going with this.
Oh boy, I don't know what to do here. You got any?
Yeah, I'd have to know your board and team. I would say not tight end.
But you know what?
What do you think? Cordell Patterson loves red zone touchdowns.
I know we said no 3 quarterbacks, but
fuck it.
Hey, I got Drake London. I was actually thinking about taking Darnell Washington until you said no tight ends, so you completely.
Yeah. I think you're good on the tight ends. I think you have them.
I felt like my team was pretty good there, regardless. That's why I didn't know what to do.
Get our teams pulled up here.
That's what I'm working on. Finding. I've never did it on the computer, so it's not like I can do as fast as it is stuff on my phone.
I don't normally, when I'm just like sitting at home, like casually doing them myself, I'm always doing it on the phone, but doing it on a show, like it's just like having it right in front of you. I'm looking at you, looking at the camera, looking at the screen. Kind of just helps. Also looking at my phone because I was making picks on my phone this evening.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of doing an underdog draft and then scrolling over to Twitter and then forgetting that I was in the middle of one and then running back. Yeah, and then I just can't. I have like ADHD or whatever unofficially, so I just can't stay focused on one thing.
Officially unofficial.
Yeah. I found my team. I don't know if you want to go first. You want me to go first?
Yeah. I'll roll through mine. I feel pretty good about this build. I got Geno Smith and Sam Howell. A little bit riskier there, obviously, with Sam Howell. Sam Howell's my second quarterback, but I did draft Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, so hopefully getting as much of those starting touchdowns as I can for the Commandos. Followed up with Saquon Barkley, Joe Mixon. Wound up stacking him with Chase Brown. And then we're going to sprinkle in some Donta Foreman as well to round out the running back group. Then we went Seattle wide receiver build. We went DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Tyler Lockett. Followed up with DJ Moore. Nice little Carolina stack of Jonathan Mingo and DJ Chark, Brandon Cooks, and Isaiah Hodgins. Tight ends, number 1 pick, Travis Kelce. Number 18 pick, Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
Is that a stack? I feel like that's
so
a stack.
you bookend it with tight ends, basically.
Yeah, it's the bookend stack.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the two things I think about in my head, I can't say how much I like your Seattle stack. Not only do I like the stack, but when we're thinking about Best Ball Mania and when we're in the finals and stuff, like Seattle's going to be a team that's probably still fighting at the end or could be fighting at the end. So you're going to, I think it was last year that DK got, I think 40 points or something within the, somewhere in that best ball towards the end of it, which probably won or made people advance to the next round. So I really like your Seattle-ness, we'll call it. And
I like that. I like that.
The one thing that scares me though, just the two quarterbacks, not because I'm scared of two quarterbacks, but if Sam Howell does not end up being the starter, or
right,
then that's it. You're living and dying by Geno the entire year. So the one thing that stood out to me.
Hopefully they pass a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if they do, like if Geno is the guy, like if he's the guy to, bring you down the path, to potentially multi-million-dollar deal here with Underdog, then that's how it's going to happen, right? Yes. Like those guys are going to be overperforming, and he will be that guy that does it for me. I agree with you. I mean, that's my riskiest or most exposed area to risk is quarterback, because if Sam Howell doesn't even put up just moderate stats, there's going to be some, at least one big bump in the road for sure on those bye weeks. So let me see if I can get your team. Just run through your team.
Yeah. So I went with 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 6 receiver, 3 tight end build.
Nice.
Quarterback, we got Kirk Cousins, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder. And then running back, we go Aaron Jones, Tyler Algier, Damian Harris, Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Kenneth Gainwell. So definitely not the strongest running back I've ever seen.
I like it a lot, though. I mean, you have the Kenny Pickett stacks. You have a Desmond Ridder London stack. You have Cousins with Jefferson. I mean, the stackability of the team is set up very well. You're kind of playing some hero RB with Aaron Jones, which in the right universe, like that could pay out because they have nobody. Somebody's got to be the shining turd of the toilet bowl that's going to be Green Bay. I got to imagine they're trying to get in that Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
And just to tie it up for the people that are listening on Spotify, the receivers are
oh, my bad.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, Olave, Devonta Smith, Drake London, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, and tight end Freiermuth, Jake Ferguson, and Sam Laporta. I'm big on Jake Ferguson. I was picking him up a while ago just because I thought that what's his name, Dalton Schultz. I just thought he was moving on. So I'm big on him. Dallas likes their tight ends, and since they passed on one in the draft, I think it's going to be Jake Ferguson going into the season.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Like I said, like the stacks that you've set up on the team, I feel really good about. Kenny, great late round quarterback pick. Desmond, same thing. I think that adding Bijan just pulls up Desmond Ridder's floor, so you don't have to necessarily be high on him, but his player stock in fantasy is significantly higher since day one of the draft. Like, I mean, you just have to feel better about him, their opportunity to be in scoring opportunities more in the red zone more often. So definitely some good picks there.
This is a team where I feel like I finally nailed the receiver part of it. Sometimes I overstack, and I feel pretty decent that I spread it out. Like, I have stacks, but I'm not like you went high on the Seattle, but then you still have other ones sprinkled in. And I kind of, sometimes like with Joe Burrow, I'll try to get, I end up with Boyd, Chase, and Higgins, and I'm like, okay, man, that might have been too much. So.
But again, the right set of circumstances, and it's not going to be so laughable.
And you're talking Caleb Williams sweepstakes next year. I'm thinking it could be Marvin Harrison Jr. sweepstakes. As a Penn State guy, I hate to say this, but that guy is going to be so good in the NFL that it's not even funny. And maybe, yeah, of course, quarterbacks, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we see that guy go in the first 3 next year as a wide receiver.
Well, there's definitely going to be some hungrier teams up there again.
Yeah.
Andrew in the chat saying him and the new lad, they got down on some BBM4 strategies today. Love it. Love it.
Yeah. That guy, like, again, Andrew just eats and breathes, sleeps, drinks, all this stuff. Like, he just had a kid, and he's all still on this and focusing on this. It's crazy to me.
You think he was in the draft on his burner account?
I was talking to my buddy before this, and our prediction was, although Andrew couldn't be here, that he was going to end up in the draft. I really thought we might see his name of drafting along with us, which would have just been wild.
Listen, honey, I'm just going to give you the phone. You draft the team. I just want to be in the chat. So it's going to cost me $25.
Andrew, like I said, Andrew called me yesterday, and I was literally talking to him, and his wife was right there, and I got to say hi, and I'm like, you just had a kid, and you're already talking to people on the phone? Like, this is, I don't know, it's crazy to me.
I don't know. I don't have any experience with that. I'm on my way up. I'm on the come up. I got a kid due here in a couple of months. I'll hit on that more personally, after the fact, and we'll definitely get some, we'll get some hospital reviews from Andrew. We'll see how the food was.
Look at this. Now he's making us look bad.
I saw you would have hopped in. Well, man, hey, man, we're drafting tonight. We need you there.
Yeah, we thought you had bigger things to maybe focus on.
Had some
priorities.
priorities.
Didn't want you to feel obligated.
Oh, he's going to do it himself, he says. Yeah. Unfortunately, Andrew, I had to blow my wad on an auto draft to start this event, so I'm gonna have to stand down for tonight.
And like a true DJ, and I'll give you a call when I get off here because I'll probably do one with you because I still got $25 in there.
Ginder's got you. All right, very good. We are going to head out for the evening. Appreciate everybody who rode along with us. Ginder, do you have anything to share? You said you were working on a post-draft article?
Yeah, I just wrapped up 10 draft winners and how maybe some prop bets would correlate with them. Not to give too much away, but talked about Bijan, talked about the two top quarterbacks that went off the board and some props that are surrounding them. And just on a more personal note, thank you so much for giving me, this opportunity. It's the first time I got to do something like this. So you popped my cherry, I guess we could say, of live podcasts.
I'm more of a pop your plumbus guy myself.
Jeez.
All right. Take care. Be well. Be good, everybody. Be sure to go check out John's article coming out. We got a ton of post-draft content available. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Smash the fantasy tab. We've got all the good stuff for you. Take care. Be well. Be good. And if you can't be good at it. We'll see you.